Orale! What's up, homies? On today's episode, we talk about Dave Chappelle's comedy special, The Closer, and transsexuals and the LGBTQ community. You're not going to want to miss this one.
You have to preface.
I'm sorry, I had to hit record, man, because that shit was just too good to keep out. So
You have to
hold up. So you said your daughter's in town and she got you weed,
Mm-hmm.
and Hey Jones asked you.
You have a daughter that's old enough to buy you weed.
Yes, because I have a 21-year-old stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
balling for how old are you? 60 what? 68?
Yeah. 68.
68-year-old man. You're aging
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
Unlike
it's got to be the Asian genes. That's what it is. It's got to be it.
Absolutely.
Wait, could you guys hold on for just a sec? I'm going to attempt to use my noise canceling Bluetooth headset to see if I can get a little better connection on
Did
the
you
mic.
hear? Did you hear the way he said that?
Yeah.
Did you hear how that sounded? That sounds ball as fuck.
Speaking of Bluetooth headsets, I got a story for you, homies.
Okay, I'm going off. You keep talking.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna fill the dead air.
No
So check it out. Check it out, homies. So this morning, I unboxed and put together my real life Tower of Power, right? In my pink palace of gains, right?
There you go.
That's right.
Real men wear pink.
Yeah, in fact, that video just posted 15 minutes as of right now. So at 8 o'clock, that video just posted. So we'll see how many views it gets. It's actually our first live Chino and Homeboy video, where I, Homeboy, reveal myself. I do have, quite the ugly visage, so bear with me. It's something I cannot control.
What's the word or what's the phrase for it? The idiom, face for radio.
That's right. I got a face for radio, baby.
Got a great face for radio.
Well, apparently I have a great face for radio or late night talk shows.
Well, there you go.
According to Stephen Colbert.
That's awesome. I actually, speaking of revealing our faces, I don't mean to cut you off, but I am working on on Chino's blog, and I'm in the process of like customizing, how it's gonna look. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna put my face up there.
Yeah.
So,
it's too bad that you have a bit of a vain affection for your coif, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes. I mean, how could you not? It's fucking magnificent.
It is quite the magnificent thing. Despite your the horrible disfigurement that you call a face.
Right, exactly. Like it's my hair that makes me look great.
It's the hair.
It's
totally
my
the
face.
hair.
Yes, my face and how it looks and the level of attraction you might have to it is directly contingent on my hair and its current state.
Exactly. I can already tell. Yeah. Like if we ever get to the point where we're doing public appearances, I'm definitely going to be the ugly one.
It's the hair. It's the hair, man. I mean, hashtag Magna Tricus.
Magnus
what? It's Magna Tricus. Great hair. Great follicles.
How do you spell that? So I can write it down in the t-shirt. On the t-shirt ideas. Oh, we hear you. Hey, Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, I sound a little far away, muffled.
The cartoon that recognized me.
Yeah. It's
so
I mean,
Magnus,
we can hear you.
how do you spell that? Magnus.
Yeah.
Right?
It's spelled Magna.
Wait.
So it's spelled Tricho.
Magna.
Yes. And then trichus is spelled Trichous.
Chous. Magna. S. Oh, there's no S. Why am I putting an S?
I don't know.
Why am I putting an S? Okay. Magna Trichous.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'm today years old. Great follicles.
Yes. You can actually flip that around, and you can even say trichomagnus. It means the same thing.
Nice. You
I
hear
mean,
that?
these are the things that I come up with in this
Hello.
logo-lipped head of mine.
All right. I'm still for some reason my character is now not reading hearing the audio.
Try turning your camera on. Since it can't hear our audio, you can turn the camera on so it can recognize your mouth.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I got my camera on.
Oh, interesting.
It also sounds like you're talking through a toilet paper tube.
Well, the mic isn't in front of my mouth; it's like on the side of the headset.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You sound like you're far away.
Yep. All right. Well, this clearly isn't working.
No. Go ahead and switch back, and we'll fill the dead air some more.
Yeah. That's science, though. He fucked around and he found out.
That's right.
And turn plugging them in the hard line.
All right. Yeah. So Magna Trichus.
Put that in t-shirt.
So I hand built a pull-up bar, a pull-up station, a pull-up and dip station is what it is. And I got to tell you, it is motivating. I felt the spirit of David Goggins as I was building it.
Hell yeah. What'd that feel like?
All right.
It felt like I was a bald black man with big, massive balls that told everybody to go fuck off and stay hard.
Stay hard. Stay hard. You think it's a game?
Who's going to carry the boats?
Yep. I actually do want to meet David Goggins.
I do too.
I feel like just talking to him, I'd be like, that's right. I'm ready to try it for the SEALs.
Ready? Right? I mean, I know. We're just a little too old. I mean, I can't do a pull-up anymore. That's what I discovered today too. I discovered that my old ass cannot do a single fucking pull-up.
Yeah, but I think that challenge that you told me about, I think I could do it. Because I mean, look, you're 88 years old. I'm 68. I mean, that's probably why you can't, or you couldn't
yet
when you tried.
Operative word there, yet. But I'm gonna do that. Yes. I'm gonna be doing 50 pull-ups before we get to our Navy SEAL physical challenge.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So just so you homies know, Chino and I have committed to doing some physical challenges, and we're gonna train for them. Now we're not gonna give anything away other than we're gonna do some physical challenges, and y'all homies are gonna love them. That's it. How you doing, Hey Jones?
Testing. Still no audio.
Well, I mean, we could hear you, but your mouth and your hands ain't moving.
Yeah. And if I'm not waving my hands, am I really talking?
I know.
Really understand what I'm saying?
I know. Right.
Let me. I'm gonna shut this down and reopen. See if that.
Right on. Do your thing.
Now, by shut down, what exactly does he mean by shut down?
I'm gonna close the animator.
Okay.
Character, reopen it and see if that reattaches with the audio.
How's that gonna work while we're live on Skype recording?
Well, it's already been closed and it's now being reopened. So.
Oh shit! Look at that.
Damn.
That's some magic shit right there.
I don't think that would have worked with my computer.
No, the magic of technology. Think about that shit.
I think Kate Jones might be the only person with like a really good, suitable computer for all the shit that we have planned.
Oh
You
know,
shit.
and all the shit
I
that
think
we
I'm
want to do.
back. Am I back?
Oh
There it is.
yeah,
All right, motherfuckers. We in
yeah.
business.
Yeah, y'all are fucked because we're
Say it,
here.
Chino. Say it, Chino. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa, bitches. I'm gonna say
Heck
Oh,
that shit in the end too. Konnichiwa, bitches.
so bust this. Since we can't talk about the Dave Chappelle show,
No, not yet.
uh,
I have to watch it. I want to see the context because
yeah,
being a stand-up comedian myself, I gotta see if people are just being snowflakes about that shit.
um,
Mm.
I would be in agreement with you on that after watching it, but I think we can talk about something about it because it's something that I just recently found out about through the
Okay.
show.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I'm a little flimmy because I made fast food at home.
Oh,
Uh,
we were about to say Flemmy because it's the Rona.
nah. Also,
Right.
speaking of the Rona, I found a great resource for debunking all the bullshit that people have to say about the Rona and shit.
You mean
So
you mean you mean the homeless man? Like there was a protest in Hollywood, and the or anti-vax protest in Hollywood, and what you call it? This what is it? There's a video on it. It's on Twitter and the fucking internet sphere, whatever the fuck it is. And this protester was like, "Where are all the homeless bodies on the streets?" And then this
no,
homeless
no, I
person, hold up, the
no, I,
homeless person was walking by and said, "I'm fucking because I'm vaccinated, you fuckhead," or some shit like that. Dumb fuck.
no, but we talked about this last
I
week or the week
fuck it is
before.
better.
That literally a designer that I worked with before um, had a prestigious company who's basically made a post about that on Instagram. It's like, where are all the dead bodies? Where are the homeless people? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
And
right, right.
and,
Mhm.
and I tried to have a rational conversation with
Oh yeah,
them.
yeah. We remember this conversation. I
Yeah,
remember
Yep.
this conversation.
but
Yeah.
Because they're vaccinated, fuckhead.
yeah,
Right.
I'm like, they went out and like set up shop to vaccinate the homeless.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that they're just untouchable. People don't come in contact with homeless the way you think they might.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
Right.
remember that. I did read an article about Chappelle's stand-up, and that was one of the jokes that he said was that he walked into a pharmacy and told him to give him the Johnson and Johnson because he wanted what the homeless people were getting.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I
Um,
got it. Look,
God
listen,
damn.
listen. Uh, Dave may be saying some controversial shit. But I gotta admit that shit's savage as fuck though.
Right.
I I think some people are being too sensitive, but we'll save that for another day.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
but
absolutely.
this right here, I found out through the show the term turf.
Yeah, actually, I did not know what a turf was.
Yeah, trans
Either.
exclusionary radical feminist.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
like
Okay.
I still don't know what that means.
Basically,
I,
they're excluding
I
trans people from
no,
from the
I think there's women out there that say trans women aren't traditional women. Like you're not me.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I like terminology aside. All I need to do is just decide to treat you like a human.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's what
Right.
Sigma males do. You know what I'm
You know what
saying?
I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna treat you as a human. You have rights, and I'll respect you and your rights.
Right.
Right. So like
Yes.
I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I'm gonna treat you as human.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that doesn't necessarily have to extend to me pretending or agreeing that you are a female or a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like for I guess the standard person, female and woman are the same thing, right? And then you
Hmm.
get into the
How come
semantics of
your hands aren't moving?
I
I
don't
thought you
know.
fixed it.
I did too. It showed up for a minute and then it stopped.
Oh
You know.
well, fuck it. Carry on.
So uh, okay, I turned off the camera and now it seems to be working 100%.
Ah, fuck
So
yeah.
there we go. It's finicky, man. It's finicky. Um, So I look at it like, look, a trans person doesn't go through the same experiences or have the same biology as a standard born person, right?
Woman.
I mean, a man or woman.
I
You know
would
what I'm saying?
say, I would say, I
So
would say,
like,
no. I mean, look, a trans, let's, because I
Too
mean,
high
the
for
big,
this conversation.
because I think the biggest controversy, you know, is like, they don't want trans women, right? Men who have transitioned over to women, right? They just don't want to recognize them as women. Because when a woman transitions over to a man, no one really gives a shit. It's kind of like a woman coming out going like, I'm a lesbian, and everyone like, okay,
well,
whatever.
because technically, like, they're never going to outdo men in any physical way.
Of course, exactly. So that's the reason why a lot of the focus is mostly on, you know,
But,
women who men who transition over to women. And you're
but
right. You're right.
I'm saying, in the sense of being
No,
fair,
a man who transitions into a woman does not have the same cultural, psychological, social experiences that a natural born woman has, because a natural born woman is essentially a sexual object from the moment that they're pretty much like born.
yeah.
And a transsexual woman, a woman who is who a man who transitions to a woman, doesn't have all of that experience. They have the experience of what it's like to have a penis between their legs until they didn't, and then they're still thinking, you know, their perspective is still from that penile perspective.
But they don't really have a penis in between their legs. It's just an enlarged clit and some fake balls.
Yeah, so does that mean I'm a lesbian with an 8-inch clit?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to be clear.
We're just convenient lesbians, is what we are.
You know?
That's it. We're
No,
getting
no.
canceled
But,
along with Dave.
but I like to address both sides, you know, because like I'm not a woman, so I can't really talk about a woman's thing, right? But I am a man, and I know myself,
Yep.
and I know my experiences, and I know that somebody who's transitioned doesn't have all the experiences nor the biology that I have, right?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to say
Hold up.
you,
Are we talking about women who have transitioned over to men?
I'm talking about transgender folks in
The other
general.
way.
I'm trying to be fair by including both sexes
Oh, you can't do that.
involved.
No, you can't
Yes, I
do that.
can.
No, you can't.
Yes, the fuck I
No.
can.
No, you
How
no,
can I not?
no, the
How
fuck
can I
you
not?
cannot. No, the fuck you
How?
cannot.
How? How?
Like, no, you can't. Because I just told you. Because a woman who transitions into a man and says, "Hey, I'm a man now. I got a fake dick and balls that I could, you know, I got a removable penis." Everyone's like, "So what?" But a man who transitions into a woman is like, "Man, you ain't no woman."
But that's not absolutely true.
Why does that burp
For
sound
for
so perfect?
for instance, right?
All right.
I,
Is that like a
so that's
7? Is that a 7? Is that a 7?
I don't know, but that was pretty good. That
All
sounded
right.
like a total redneck. Anyway, go ahead. Hey, Jones.
no, and so this is where I'm going to disagree with you on and show you some facts on it, right?
All right.
Um, so when it comes to women transitioning to men, right? A portion of them, I won't even say a lot, a portion live their lives as lesbians, dating lesbian women, and then they get to the point where
Hold up. You're saying they're lesbians before they transition.
yeah, so they
Okay.
live their lives as butch lesbians,
Okay.
right? Dating women,
Right.
and then they get to a point where they like, you know what? I actually want to transition. I saw like two cases of this, and the first time I saw it addressed was in a TV show starring what's that dude Dorf, the actor from Blade, who
Stephen
played
Dorff.
the
Stephen
yeah
Dorff.
Stephen
Yeah.
Dorff, who played the sheriff of L.A. County,
Right.
and one of his people was a lesbian in a relationship with another lesbian, but then at a certain point he was like, nah, I'm really trans and want to become a male. And her girlfriend dumped her. He's like, nigga, I don't like penis. Right? So like there's
Right.
literally arguments on all sides for this shit. what they don't do is express to you the stuff that happens within the gay community about it. Because I've talked to other gay folks who are like, yeah, they should be safe, but I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, everybody is a little bit twisted when it comes to this. People who are gay, people who aren't gay, about where trans people sit, right? So gay men aren't trying to bang trans men, and lesbian chicks aren't trying to bang trans women for the most part, right?
Shit, they do
they're
on the
not
show
really trying to
Shameless.
do that. Yeah, well, that's fiction, right? But that's not the norm. That's not what they're after, right? And so I've seen a few cases pop up where, and it's mostly on the women's side, where their butchy girlfriend wants to become a full-on man, and they're like, I ain't with that shit. And then it becomes an argument or a breakup or a divorce or whatever, right? So this is why I choose to address both ends at the same time, out of fairness, even though the total ramifications are slightly different. But
Here's what here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'll say. I think we should start an app, or we should create a dating app where it's nothing but trans people, right? And it's just them hooking up with other trans people.
They don't want to do that shit.
That makes no sense.
Well,
because heterosexual.
I had that thought myself.
Well, no,
I had that thought myself.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I'll tell you why. This makes no sense because heterosexual people only want to, hook up with heterosexual people, and homosexual people only want to hook up with homosexual people. So why wouldn't it make logical sense for transsexual people to, want to hook up with transsexual people, since they're the only ones who could understand their experience?
You like what you like, man. That's the thing. You like what you like. You know, the kind of wants the penis wants what the penis wants.
Well,
that's what I mean.
Well, that's so the reason I'm gonna make a shirt #canceled.
But then there's the spectrum of transness, right? So there's the pre-op, the post-op, the people who just present that way.
Yeah.
So they'll keep the original sex parts but dress otherwise, right? So my girl doesn't have a penis. You know what I'm saying? That's not an experience she's ever had or is going to have.
Right.
Like outside of having use of mind while we're together, right?
Right.
So you can't walk.
I like how he said use of mind.
So, I don't see
she uses it. She uses it all right.
How a woman who's on hormones to keep her female looks, have breast implants, wear heavy makeup, and has a full-on penis and balls, can be called a woman or want to be considered as such. I think, and I'm only talking about the consideration. I'm not talking about the bathroom usage or any of that bullshit, because it's just a fucking bathroom. But in the overall labeling, because I think the turf thing is a lot about labeling, right? You want to label yourself as a woman, get in on some of the benefits that may come to being a woman based on minority status, after getting your fill as a man and getting all the benefits that maleness gives you. You know what I'm saying?
This goes right along with my theory of never fuck with a human being's sense of fairness.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying is like
homeboy is right again.
Yeah, I'm all about being fair, and I'm like, the best thing to do would just be to create 2 more gender types, right?
Why? Just call them what they really are: hermaphrodites.
No, hermaphrodites are born with both.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was going to say that.
They essentially
and they find that term derogatory.
Well, but I don't care what they think. I mean,
here's the thing,
only in as much as like that is a scientific term that's been developed to label them.
Right.
I mean, I'm surprised.
That's the term that was used to label people who were born with both sex parts.
Well, that's
not a trans. That's an intersex person that is not a trans person.
Intersex?
Yes.
That's a word?
Yeah, it replaced hermaphrodite.
Okay.
Jamie,
hold up. You keep talking while Jamie does his job.
Okay, let me educate you. there are people who look male and female who are born with both sets of genitalia. What used to happen back in the day is they had the doctor or the parents pick, and then they get rid of one of them.
Okay,
Wasn't the Jamie Lee Curtis one?
Hold up.
No, she has a chromosome thing.
Hold up. Okay. So, in biology, the term hermaphrodite is used to describe an organism that can produce both male and female gametes, right? Some people with intersex traits use the term intersex, and some prefer other language. Intersex is a general term used for a variety of situations in which a person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit the boxes of female or male. Sometimes doctors do surgeries on intersex babies and children to make their bodies fit binary ideas of male or female. And male and female are in quotations. So we could hypothetically call transitioning, or let's say, men and or women. I don't want to use the word "it's" because that's too objectifying. But men, let's use men, right, who have a penis but also have tits because they're taking hormones and shit. You can call them intersex. You don't need to make two genders; just make one.
Look,
homeboy solves
if I may, actually, I'll go even better than that. If I may, now I'm by no means belittling the struggle and all the bullshit that the LGBTQ plus community has gone through. Right? It's terrible. It's terrible. And I'll be the first person to admit that while I might understand, a few things about what they're going through and their plight, I know that I don't know enough about this shit. So what I will say is that we could have just stopped at what Hey Jones said earlier and just be fucking nice to everybody.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the opening 2 paragraphs of our book, The Way of the Sigma Male.
Exactly.
Or The Way of the Sigma Man.
Well, cat's out of the bag. We're writing a book as well.
That's right.
There you go. We're busy here at the Chino and Homeboy Malditos Carajos Productions.
That's right.
So, we're just trying to do our part to the deconstruction of America.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Well, the reason why I say there should be 2 added genders is when you pull out that ID. You know what I'm saying? When you fill out that app. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you, but continue.
Oh, I know you are. That's totally okay. When you fill out that job application,
right?
Or and you can be called a woman full on and get minority status approved.
Right.
Like, I think that's some bullshit on that side.
Okay.
Like, I don't think you should be able to jump fence and then get all these Title IX benefits that you weren't getting as a full-on male.
Right.
Right. So if you're trans, we don't owe you anything.
Hold up. Post-op or pre-op trans?
Post any form. As soon as they change your identification, right, on your ID, and say that you're now a female, you can start taking part in female-only benefits.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean,
that hold on. That technically through your life as a person growing up, if you're a man, you didn't take part of. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's really not your full-on struggle, right? And I think that's unfair. And I think the turf mob is on that side of the fence with it. It's just like, we've been struggling with a bunch of things, and a lot of these causes don't even concern you, right? One, you can't reproduce at this point. You know, you can't carry a baby. You don't have a period. You don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to abortion. You know, and all the other things that women fight about or fight for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They could be allies with it, but that's really not their plight. They have a whole other plight that's totally theirs, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
For
And
for
so
some
I'm like,
reason,
to satisfy all people, because they still call it, like they say it's only two, like gender is fluid and XYZ, but you still call yourself a trans female or trans male. You don't just say uh prostitutes are dying in the streets. You say trans prostitutes are dying in the streets. You know what I'm saying? There's special programs for trans people specifically, right? So we can't label it in one segment and then try to ignore that label in another segment, right? You don't have the complete life experience or physical biology of a woman or a man. You are a hyphenated. It's like you got Americans and then you got African Americans and whatnot, right? So you have the
mhm.
standards, which is biological born male, biologically born female, who run that gamut for the rest of their life. And then you have the people who want to transition, and they are marked with a special, like an asterisk. You know what I'm saying? That would be the clearest way to get rid of that argument for me. That would be my solution. Some people get asterisks on their ID or on their application, and we call it a day, and then we don't have to argue about the shit
For some reason, this conversation reminds me of Marla Singer from Fight Club. Uh, you know, when 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 the narrator first excuse me, when the narrator first confronts her about you being a tourist, and he does it during testicular cancer. And so, actually, no, it wasn't testicular cancer, but he does say, like, I saw you at this place, I saw you at this meeting, at testicular cancer, and she goes, technically, I have more of a right to be there because you still have your balls.
That's
before.
right.
And that, for some reason, like Marla Singer just flashed into my brain. But I have a question about this whole biology thing, right?
Yeah.
So, in the limited scope of my knowledge of all this, uh, I saw, read, and yeah, I read uh, a few things where the these trans people, they've maintained that they've always felt like they were in the wrong body, right?
Mhm.
That's part of the reason why, or a big part of the reason why uh, they wanted to transition, because they always felt that they were the wrong assigned gender. Now, I understand they're born with, male physiology or female physiology, whatever, right? And they want to transition to the other. Now, if if the argument is made that this is a brain thing, this is happening in their minds, right? Now, whether or not it's called a neuroses or not is, a different debate, a different conversation for a different time. But if that is going on in their brains, isn't that, couldn't you make the contention that that is also an argument for biology? Meaning, they might say, like Hey Jones said, you weren't biologically born a man or a woman, but in their heads, which is part of their biology, part of their makeup, you know, they feel and they think that they're born, or they were assigned the wrong gender, or they were born the wrong gender. They're not in the correct body,
Right.
So
We would
um,
we would need brain scans to prove that there is a part of the brain that we can identify that looks different in theirs versus ours and looks more female than male.
do we
Okay.
Which
have that? Do we
Hold
have
up.
that though? Do
Hold
we?
up.
as
And
far
is
as
there that big of a difference?
Hold up.
I'm asking because I don't know.
Yeah,
okay,
no, I
let
mean,
let
no,
can
no.
I
Let,
I have some
no.
information.
Let me
I,
interject. Let me interject. Let me interject. Let me interject. Okay, so what seems to be the problem isn't so much a philosophical problem or really a biological, psychological problem. It's a sociological problem, right? And
Uh-huh.
as a sociological problem, based on what Hate Jones said, is that it's a bureaucratic sociological problem, right? Because the minute he throws out Title IX and benefiting from these sociological what is it? As a Republican myself would say, handouts, right? I'll simplify it for you. Listen, just keep it simple. All right. Do you still, instead of having male or female, put penis or vagina? All right. Do you still have a penis or do you have a vagina?
Would you like to keep it? Is the next question.
Like which one of the two, right? If you are a man who is in the process of transitioning, you're taking hormones, you identify as a woman, but you still got a penis between your legs, guess what? You put penis in that check mark, and the government bureaucratically will recognize you as a penis haver. All right. Once you transition, once you get once you get to Johnson and his two little nutty brothers chopped the fuck off and tossed into a dumpster somewhere, now you can check off vagina. All right. Simple. Keep it simple. All right. Because that's all we're really arguing about. Right. Now, the whole philosophical thing that Hey Jones talked about, like, well, you haven't had the experience that a natural born woman has had. You know what? Superfluous at this point. You want to know why it's superfluous? Because there are plenty of people who are already gaming the system for all other shit, and we call them billionaires. So it's that if you're willing to cut off your dick and your balls to get some Title IX advantages, you know what? That's more of a sacrifice than my ass is willing to make. Have them.
Look, bruh. Look, I understand, and I think we all do that. This is
for me,
sociological. No, you're right.
Hold on. Let Chino finish.
I understand that this is a sociological issue, which is why I asked. I asked you guys, like, well, what if in their minds, in their brains, it's they're born in the wrong body. They're born with the wrong plumbing, right?
Right.
And so my question, I understand that, yes, like the I-9, the benefits of each and of one from the other, etc., back and forth, XYZ. I understand all that, but the question I'm trying to ask is, if biology is to be counted, as a determinant of whether this person is male or female, man or woman, and their brains are part of their makeup, their brains are part of their biology, right? Then shouldn't that at least, if not cancel, then at least weigh the biological thing down a little bit?
Okay. So,
I mean,
hold on. I got some answers.
in terms of bureaucracy, it's too convoluted and it clogs up the system. But go ahead, Hey Jones.
I actually have some science answers for this shit, right? So years ago, wish I could find this 2020 interview, or not interview, but article that they were trying to find the source of gayness, right? And they were doing it within mice, right? And so what they start doing is inducing the opposite sex hormone in utero to the fetus.
Okay.
And when they gave it a little too much of the opposite sex hormone, when they came out, they had opposite sex behaviors. So female mice will run around trying to mount other female mice or whatever, things of that sort. And then the other thing they found different between the standard mice, or the heterosexual mouse, and the artificially gay mouse or mice, was that the pathways between the right and left hemispheres of their brain were wider than the average human.
So you're talking about the corpus callosum?
Yep.
I do believe so. So the pathways that connect both hemispheres are wider and transfer more data, I guess, than the standard human. So that is the only thing we could see from what I saw in that take. I haven't seen that article or that science gone any further. I don't know if it was suppressed or was found invalid later on, but I haven't heard anything to refute it, right? So this is the only scientific knowledge I have about gayness, right? And that's the only physical thing I think we could scan for to determine if somebody's gay or not, right? You would have to do a brain scan and figure out, oh, look at that pathway is a little bit too large. Okay, you're gay, right? So without having a absolute physical representation or some form of thing to scan for and say, we see that change, we can't say it's biology, right? So like with Jamie Lee Curtis, she has a chromosomal thing, right? We can look at her chromosomes and say, oh, you got an extra piece of this. That's why you're like that, right? But as far as we know, as far as I've seen, it's how they feel, right? They haven't found a piece of the brain like this part of the brain is can determine that you're heterosexual or determine that you're gay or bisexual or anything else, right?
And
But
this is the exact reason why I'm
now,
telling you.
Hold on.
Bureaucratic,
Can I finish?
bureaucratically speaking,
You got
are
2
you a
rounds.
penis
Let me
haver or are you a vagina haver?
let a nigga have his finish. Okay. Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to Kanye my way into that.
Okay. So the issue for most people seems to be classification, right? So the moment that you create a nice system of classification, right, that everybody can agree on. So you just add two more qualifications, and that's where you mark your box. And now we don't have any arguments at that point. You know, we might have to have a unisex bathroom thrown in just to make everything on that side of the game okay.
Like in Starship Troopers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I've worked at a place where men and women had to share the same bathroom. Everybody just used the stalls. You know what I'm saying? Like some dudes, you know, you can use the urinal still because you're still not flashing nobody, but the girls will go in the stalls. The guys will use the urinals. The door to the location was open, so there was never any closed doors, so any creepy stuff could happen. So anybody could walk in at any time. And if you need to sit down, you use the toilets. If you need to stand up, you use the urinals. And there was no problems. There was some sex had, but there was no problems. You know, nobody yelled rape, nobody yelled harassment during that time, and a few couples got together and had some sex in the bathrooms in size. But that's about it. You know, so I'm like, if you treat it that way, then we're good. My other issue would be on the medical side, right? What happens? EMT gets you, hospital gets you. They think you're a woman. They start treating you a certain way, and then realize like, oh, you don't have a uterus and XYZ. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they need to carry an identification card to let doctors know
that's
of
why,
that kind of stuff?
That's why, bureaucratically speaking, are you a penis haver or are you a vagina haver? All right, that's it. It's as simple as that.
No, because if your penis is not a functioning penis, then you're in a different bucket. Again, if your vagina is not a self-lubricating vagina attached to a uterus and ovaries, it's a different category.
No, it's not. You want to know why?
Why?
Because these people are medicating themselves with either testosterone or estrogen. The hormones.
Can it get cervical cancer? No.
That has.
Can it get ovarian cancer? No.
You're not. You know, you're engaging in a logical fallacy, and I don't even have to tell you that you're engaging in a logical fallacy.
Tell me.
Because cervical cancer, right? Like if someone's treating you for, like, say, a gunshot wound, right? They're not gonna check if you have cervical cancer. Motherfucker, come on. You know, like no one can tell if, like, the only reason why they would be concerned with you having cervical cancer is if you fucking have cervical cancer. If you don't have cervical cancer, they're not going to treat you for cervical cancer. It doesn't matter whether you can get cervical cancer or not. What matters is the hormones that you have pumping through your system at that moment in time. All right. And if you look like a woman, right, chances are you're pumping estrogen through your body. Now, do you have estrogen and testosterone flowing through your body? You know, that's a whole other can of worms. But the point is that the ovaries produce estrogen and the testicles produce testosterone. And when those two are absent, say for example you had a hysterectomy, you need estrogen treatment. Or let's say for example you're one of these men who no longer has their testicles working, you need testosterone treatment. That's the only thing that they're going to fucking care about, is whether you have testosterone or estrogen, because hormones are really what matters. All right. Same thing with like dopamine, epinephrine, what is it, serotonin, all of that shit. Right.
DMT.
If you have abnormal, if you have your hormones regulate your body. Hormones regulate your body, not cervical cancer. Your cervix doesn't regulate your body in any way, shape, or form. It's the fucking hormones that the ovaries produce that regulates your body. That's what tells you to be a woman. That's the reason when a man starts taking estrogen, gets fucking tits. Or when a woman starts taking testosterone, her tits start getting smaller and they start looking more masculine. All right. And they start getting bigger muscles and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's the hormones, the endocrine system that regulates your body. That's what matters, not the cervix.
This question right quick. Answer me this question right quick. Did you bring your pen with you in the toilet? Because you need to hit that thing a few times. Just to remind you folks that Homeboy is probably the most hyper stoner that I know of.
Oh man. I tell you.
I'm way too high for this conversation.
Oh man. No, the fact that you can get cervical cancer or testicular cancer has absolutely no relevance whatsoever. It's do you have mostly testosterone or mostly estrogen flowing through your body? And if you are a transsexual, you're probably getting testosterone or estrogen treatments. In fact, women who have entered menopause get estrogen treatment. If they stop their estrogen treatment, they start looking more and more masculine. Does that make them, quote unquote, transsexual?
No, because they don't have.
But they don't have estrogen either.
They have some. They don't have a lot.
Oh, I mean, they've stopped producing it. That's the reason why older women start getting mustaches and shit.
But that's
is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but we all like men's testosterone drop in old age, women's stops in old age, but they don't take it to keep their mustaches down. They take it because if you having hot flashes and other bullshit going on with their body because of the lack of estrogen.
Because women produce testosterone as much as they produce estrogen. Yeah, that's right. Men produce estrogen just like they produce testosterone. It's just that we produce testosterone more than we produce estrogen. But when our testosterone levels drop to a certain level, the estrogen levels are, higher than the testosterone levels. Guess what? We start getting bitch tits and start losing our erections.
So, is this okay? Is this really a biological question?
No, it's not. I'm telling you,
a sociological question.
It's a sociological, bureaucratic question. It's really what it boils down to.
Well,
and I'm telling you, the solution is
no. I get you.
Do you have a penis or a vagina between your legs? Which one do you have? Did you cut it off? Guess what? You're now a vagina haver.
I don't think you can have the sociological answer if you don't address the biological answer first.
Thank you.
How's that?
Because so check the box if you have a penis, check the box if you have a vagina, right? That's essentially what you're saying.
Their shit goes way deeper than that.
But before you even get there, you got to determine whether or not this person needs to have hormones or not because they want to be a man or a woman. You know what I mean? So you have to address the biological issue first. So it's not just a sociological issue.
All right, I'll ask you this question, Chino. Did you or did you not used to work for the U.S. government?
Yes.
Does the U.S. government like to keep shit simple?
Yes.
Okay, if you were the U.S. government, would you ask them the question you're asking me?
Actually, yes, I would.
Do you
Because
think
I'm me.
do you think they would have an adequate answer?
No, right. You're right. You're absolutely right that they would not.
And
Right.
that's what I'm
But
trying
see,
to
but
tell
the
you
thing is
is
that
that the government likes to keep shit simple, right?
I
That's the
I
whole reason
agree.
why.
I agree with you completely, right?
Yeah.
But in order for us, I think, in order for us to address the sociological issue, right, and make it more right for everybody, right? Because look, we have a mess right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
Like, talk about bureaucracy and bureaucratic red tape and all the bullshit we have to go through.
Right.
This is messy as fuck, you know? And so I think in order for us to get this shit addressed, in order for them to get a handle on this shit, there are a bunch of questions that need to be answered. That's all I'm saying. You know, and me asking, is this a sociological issue, a biological issue, whatever have you? Not because, you know, it's one thing or the other that's separate. I think, you know, we got to address all this shit first before we even get to, you know, making it simple. You know,
Okay.
in
So
order for us to make it simple, we gotta go through the complex shit first. Sometimes, not all the time. Maybe, I don't know.
No,
I forgot what I'm talking about.
and for me, that simplicity would just be an asterisk.
right. So here so look, I'm not against the whole asterisk idea either, you know, but what I am telling you, right, is that look, here's what I'm gonna pose it to the audience, right? Listen, how long do you want to stand in line at the DMV? How much longer do you want to stand in line at the DMV? Right? You know, because that's what it boils down to. You know what I'm saying? Right?
I
It all
mean,
like
everybody stands in line, whether you're a
right.
man or a woman.
Yeah, right. Everybody stands in line, but if you don't simplify it, you're going to be standing in line longer. And the last time I was at the DMV, I was at the DMV the whole day, and that was without an appointment. All right. If
Hmm.
we have to come down to the whole, like, God forbid there's a single trans person in that line, let alone two, three, four, five that day. You know, it's like, man, do I have to come back tomorrow? What if there's like two or three or four more trans people in that line also? Right? Trying to clear up this confusion. It just turns into more and more red tape. Right? That's
Right.
why. Now, that's the reason why I'm telling you it's much easier right now to say, do you still have a penis or do you still have a vagina, while we clarify the sociological and biological experiences that these people have in order to streamline the process to, which, to classifying what gender or whatever it is that they want to identify as. Because as it stands now, when you're filling out those job applications, right? And I mean, shit, you know,
Um,
Did we lose you?
maybe. Yeah. His mic. I can see his mic's muted. So, look. Like I said, I don't know enough about this. And it's not that I'm not interested. In it, you know, but I have a lot more shit going on in my life to worry about that. But I do support the cause, you know, like, just let them be who they want to be and fucking be nice to
yeah,
everybody,
yeah, no,
you
and
know?
I agree with that. Like I said, look, the whole question is a bureaucratic question, right? It's really
Hmm.
what it boils down to. It's a bureaucratic question, right? Um, if if you don't keep it simple now, right, and you complicate it now, and that's the thing, right? Like, you have to get people to just agree, like, what's the simplest way to solve this problem right now while we work out the back end of the whole thing. It's like building a
Hmm.
website, right? Like, let's put a landing page up so that people at least know, like, hey, this is what you're going to see for now. We're still working on
Right,
the back end to try to unfuck this whole fucking thing.
Okay,
right.
but I think to that degree, and your do you have a penis and not have a penis, their side would say it doesn't matter if I have a penis or not. I'm a woman, right? Like that
Well,
would
I
be
mean, Well, that's the thing. Well, here's the
hold
thing.
on.
Like, if you sucked it up, if you sucked it up this much, suck it up a little bit more.
Can I finish? A lot of them don't have plans on getting rid of their penis. They live their lives as women with penises. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one part. Like, there's a comedian named Flame. She is in a relationship with a lesbian, keeps her penis, um, and dresses and lives life as a woman. You know what I'm saying? So she has the most balance because she tends to be on the asterisk side of the game. Like, she prefers, like, no, I'm not a female because I don't have complete female not expression, but well, kind of expression. He's like, I learned to be a female by watching other females in my family, not that I was born feeling like female.
That's the whole thing, right? Like, I understand, right, that these people feel a certain way, and it's just like I said, before you told me to let you finish. It's just like, listen, you've sucked it up this long, suck it up a little more while we try to unfuck this whole goddamn thing. Just be patient.
Well, my thing is, they want to just be declared a woman or a man for the most part. Like, that's what the movement suggests, right? Other voices that don't get heard, kind of like Flames, because Flame was like got lit up by the LGBT community when she did an interview, um, and you know she was just basically saying, like, look, I'm not a female. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man who lives his life as a woman, and has fake boobs, takes hormones to some degree, but has no plans on chopping off their penis, right? So within that, having a penis and not being, saying, do you have a vagina? Do you have a penis? It still leads to more
No, it
confusion.
doesn't.
It would.
No.
Let me
tell.
hold on.
No. You don't understand.
Can I finish my
because
statement?
because you're not understanding what it is that I'm actually saying.
I do.
I'm not saying
it's not permanent. I know you're saying it's not permanent.
No. What I'm saying is, right, literally written on the fucking application.
I understand that.
Penis on the application. There's a checkbox and it says penis. Check mark, there's a checkbox, vagina, and the question is, do you have, or what do you have? That way, I don't care if you identify as a man, I don't care if you identify as a woman. Fuck you. I want to know, is there a dick or a fucking hole between your fucking legs? That's all that question is fucking asking.
Okay. And that's the major issue. They don't want to tell you that information at all.
Then they can go fuck themselves.
So I'm saying the least.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm back.
I'm the U.S. government. I want to know. If you don't tell me which one is between your legs, you can go fuck yourself. Go to another country. It's cost $4,000. Be gone.
Okay.
You have a social security number. Uncle Sam owns that ass.
I'm gonna talk to Chino for a second. So,
okay.
What I'm saying is, how do you get the nut onto the screw with ease, right? You use some Vaseline, you put some lubrication up, right? The easiest way to get all sides is to say asterisk man, asterisk woman, and we're clear. You can be any degree of trans that you want and mark that box. And if you have a penis, don't have a penis, got it shut off, but like to wear a mustache, it won't matter. You know what I'm saying? You have your qualifications, and now we can deal with everything that you as a trans person has to deal with, right? So maybe there is some reparations or some form of support or what do you call it, some government handouts that can be given, right? Because a lot of them say they can't afford to pay for surgery or whatnot, and some states are saying we ain't paying for that, right? So maybe at that point they can go and fight for that and be a little bit more siloed in that argument, right? Without trying to pull in women into the argument. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I hear
That's
you.
it's just for clarity, because there's, like I say, the turf chicks are worried
Uh-huh.
about classification, right?
Right.
So you build out new classifications that don't necessarily declassify the
Uh-huh.
experiences of the other side, right?
Right.
Because in reality, um, if you are surgically made another thing, are you
Mhm.
really the thing, right?
Right. Well, so okay,
If
so
I chop off a dog's head and surgically implant it on a pig's body, is it a dog or a pig?
chimera. I get the question. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And
and
so,
the other part is on the choosing side is just like they feel this need to remove body parts or
mhm,
get new body parts or whatnot, right?
mhm,
But simultaneously we have people who think they need to cut off a limb to be right, to feel right.
uh-huh. Right.
How does these two mind changes, I guess, let's say mental perspectives, I guess,
Right. Good. Yeah.
how do,
Good one. Good one.
how do they differ? Why do we legitimize one and the
Uh-huh.
other one we say no, you have a mental issue?
Because of religion.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like a person, you know what, man? I just feel like I'm an amputee, and this leg needs to go to the
Right.
all the way up to the knee. And
Because
and
yeah.
there's people who've done mad crazy shit to get rid of those limbs. In
Mhm,
the same way, there's been mad crazy shit trans people have done to their bodies,
right.
to from destroying penises and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I'm like, you never know what it is. Is it the depression from being from the pressure of what you get
Mhm,
from society that pushes you to this dangerous level, or
mhm.
is it just your mental state? You know, who knows,
Right.
right?
Right. And that's the question I was asking earlier, is that like, you know, if biology is the issue, then you also have to take into account um, mental states,
Yeah,
right? And that's what's so complicated about this whole thing, is that you know your how you think, which then dictates how you feel, is important as well. And so, um, uh,
I mean, because I'm with you. At the end of the day, um, I respect everybody, but I want
right,
some form of understanding within the whole community so we can lessen the bullshit between them.
right. No, I dig that. I dig that.
So like
Which is why.
I've gone to school with transitioning folks,
Hmm.
like one girl, I thought she was a girl until one day I saw her coming out of the boys' bathroom.
Yeah.
She's a little androgynous,
Yep.
uh, and I didn't know, so I never really like. I've only called them by their name, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
when I had to speak to them.
Yeah.
And one day I was going to the bathroom, and she came out, and I looked at her, and she kind of like shied away. I was like, oh, now I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then years later, I ended up going to, I think it might have been her birthday party. Went
Hmm.
to a birthday dinner. I think she had a boyfriend there. Had the surgeries and everything else, had lost weight and just glammed up. But now it's like
Hmm.
you're going over the top, so I still can tell that you're not a natural born woman because they usually don't go
Right.
that far with it.
Hmm.
So I could tell that you're hiding something. Uh,
Right.
but it was all good. No, she got a man. The man likes her. I don't really give a fuck.
Right.
You go on with your life.
Yeah.
Uh, and in general, that's where I sit with it. But I'm like, I think it's weird for somebody to manufacture themselves to a certain degree physically and try
Hmm.
to hop onto one person's boat or another, claiming to be a part of that group. I think that's a little weird.
I mean,
Sounds like women who get fake tits and fake asses.
Yeah, I put them all on the boat and let it sink too.
yeah. I mean, his name is Hate Jones.
I'm putting that on a shirt.
Yeah.
I put them on the boat too and let that bitch sink.
Yeah.
Because I've seen girls who like who are born with natural big tits operate differently than girls who get fake tits late in age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like big fake tits. It's just like you got all. It's kind of like a broke person getting money and don't know how to act. You know, they
Well, hold up. There are also women who have had small titties, right? And then they got pregnant, and then they got big old titties
yeah,
afterwards.
but they got kids, so they don't wild out that heavy.
I mean, I don't think man.
Because I've seen them. I know a couple. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they'll show them off and here or there. You know what I'm saying? They'll put them on display. But
Right.
the girls I've known who have gotten bigger fake boobs,
Yeah,
they're all out with it.
Yeah, that sounds like the anecdotal evidence hypothesis
But
fallacy.
that's all we can do. Nigga,
I mean, I'm just telling you,
this
having been the other man several times, I'm telling you,
this is not couch, okay?
What'd you say? Hey, Jones, I missed that last part.
This is not a research couch, okay?
Right.
Some research and some facts, but the most of this shit is getting pulled out our ass.
Oh,
So
no, absolutely.
Take it with a grain of salt, which whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean.
I've always wondered where that expression came from. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
Which kind of, is weird.
I was entertained and not entertained, but I learned something new about the turf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Lots of info about the turf.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know. Like, I knew there was women who weren't 100% on. Hey, let's call trans women women too, and all the sisterhood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I knew there were women who believed that, but I didn't know that there was like a terminology and an organization ish around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know it was
Right.
that heavy of a movement. I just thought like, hey, some people don't agree with it. Men don't really argue about it because it really doesn't affect us in a
Right.
real way. So you like, who cares?
Right. Yeah,
Oh,
usually when it doesn't affect you personally,
yeah.
you tend
Like
to
you
just
don't
kind
have
of gloss over it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like a trans man in the shower room with me doesn't make me any difference because we're all kind of like trying to keep to ourselves to begin with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Keep your eyes on the ground or yourself
Right.
at all times. So it really, really wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But I do know like there's like the intersex folks. There's like guys who present 100% male who are heterosexual who have vaginas. Like
Right.
actually, I saw a good interview. I'll find it and I'll post it in the Discord.
Okay.
But this guy has both, right?
Mm-hmm.
And has used both in his sex life. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, bro, that reminds me. I saw this as a post on Reddit, and when I find it, I'm gonna look for it. When I find it, I'll share it. But
Yeah, and it's a brother man from I think he's in London.
well, so the post I'm talking about is different because this dude was born with two fully functioning penises,
I
and
saw that too.
yeah, and he goes both ways. So he's having a good old time.
Yeah.
And like he did essentially an AMA, like Ask Me Anything, and he was asked he was asked those questions like, have you ever used both, with two different people? Have you used them with two girls? Have you used them with two guys? Have you used them with each? And each of those, I believe each of those answers were, his answers to those questions were, yeah, I've done it all, kind of thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't use
It was actually a very interesting read.
Hold up. How do these penises manifest themselves? Like one on top of the other, or like a Y shape?
He posted a picture, and I believe it was Y-shaped, just kind of staggered.
Dude, I would pay to see that porno.
Right?
Yes.
And actually, there may have been a question about whether he was willing to form perform in front of a camera, for the delight of people who like, that kind of stuff.
Now, does he have 2
Rich.
testicles or 4 testicles? Because if he's only got 2, man, those motherfuckers are pulling double duty.
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
That I'm
Yeah.
not.
I'm
not sure about.
I know through a friend of mine, I know about a woman who has 2 vaginas that can both push out babies.
Well, there was that one.
Damn.
I think it was you, homeboy, that posted it. It was this chick who had like 2 sets of legs, 2 pairs of legs, and each set had like the plumbing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was probably me. I would post some freak shit like that.
Yeah, and it's stuff like this to me that would lend more to the argument about how trans people feel, because like anything can happen when biology produces hermaphrodites, intersexed, people with 2 penises, people with 2 vaginas, people with a vagina and a penis, and vice versa.
Yeah,
Anything can be possible in that realm.
that is correct.
So, so I don't really get crazy on it that much, but I do find it perplexing that we can't find a way to uniformly agree on classification.
I just told you.
I don't agree with your penis vagina thing, because I think it's more complex. Their system of living is more complex, because
Look,
they want to be called a woman and still carry a penis sometimes, and sometimes they don't.
Listen, my process for living is pretty complex too, but I suck it up as well. All right, they can suck it up too.
Right. So okay.
Listen. Look, I'm a veteran. Do you know how complicated that is?
No.
So check this out.
I find it quite
So
simple. Somebody tells you
Homeboy.
what to do and you do it. That's the easiest life you can have.
No, that's when you're in the military. When you're out of the military.
So check this out. So, Homeboy said earlier, right? Well, actually, so Hey Jones and I, to some degree, said, we need to do more research on this shit. We need to, this is a very complex question with multiple layers, and it would do us some good. It would behoove us to get these questions answered.
Yes.
But I also agree with what Homeboy said in that, look, I know it sucks, but you're gonna have to suck it up a little bit more. Both sides need to be patient. You know what I mean? They need to fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Am I making?
Yeah. No. That's why I said, look, listen, keep it simple first, right? Like, do you still have a penis or do you still have a vagina, right? While we work the back end and solve this whole issue, right? And so that we can make further clarifications on those identities, so that when those identities are put in place, the process is streamlined so that none of us have to stand in line at the DMV longer than we have to.
Okay, so what you're saying is fuck the DMV.
Yeah, exactly.
They ain't got time, man. Trans people are dying on an everyday basis. Lives are being lost because we can't figure out this bullshit fast enough. All right, man.
I see where you're coming from, but like we can only go
trying to
so
save
fast.
lives.
I get that, right?
Listen,
right.
Listen,
and
we live in America.
Look, I understand that. Look, I understand that ultimately the goal is not just homogeneity, right?
Yeah.
But we also need. Look, everybody needs to be happy. I understand that, right? And I see your point. Hey Jones is saying that we're not doing this fast enough. But look, we're going as fast as we can. I believe.
I don't believe that. I think we're head in the sand more than moving as fast as we can. In regard to this particular topic.
Well, look. I'm gonna tell you what my man Mark Blythe says. Okay, and that is society evolves one funeral at a time. That's true. And so both sides are just going to have to be patient until enough people die off and we normalize this shit.
You're not a unique and special snowflake.
That's right. You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else. We're all a part of this.
Yeah, we're
All
we're all
dancing.
part of the same compost heap.
That's
We're
right.
all
We are
singing, all
singing
dancing
all
crap of the world.
crap of the world.
Dude, I've been in the Fight Club kick recently. You know, my first blog entry is going to be touching on Fight Club. I saw Fight Club the other night with the wife. It's just, I saw Fight like
What's
I
Fight Club
used
on?
I used to love that
Prime.
movie until I realized it was toxic.
It's not toxic.
It's toxic.
No, it's not. What's Fight Club on?
Prime, I believe.
Prime. Oh, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Is it for rental or for free?
I saw it for free, so if it's free for me, it's probably free for you.
All right. Cool. No, I mean, it appears toxic because it does deal with a lot of toxic masculinity issues. I mean, since we're like on the topic of toxic masculinity, because Dave Chappelle opened his mouth and said some jokes that not a lot of people agreed with. So it does deal with the extreme ends of toxic masculinity, right? And the other side, which is essentially incels, right?
Yes.
So it does deal with both extremes. And Chuck Palahniuk's purpose in...
Is that how you pronounce that?
I think so.
I thought it was Palahniuk.
Palahniuk. Yeah, Palahniuk. Yeah, I was close. My apologies, Chuck.
Good enough for government work.
That's right. So Chuck wanted to address both ends of the spectrum, right? So you have Edward Norton's character, which is the protagonist, who is essentially, this quote unquote effeminized male who's given into the whole, what is it? Horchow collection, pursuing, things as identity, a consumerist, essentially,
yes.
right? And then you have the other end of the spectrum, which is Tyler Durden, which, Chino so eloquently put, and essentially quoting Tyler Durden, which is, I look like you want to look, I fuck like you want to fuck, I am free in every which way that you are not.
Yes,
right?
He's unchained and unfettered, yeah.
That's right. So that's the other end of that extreme. And what Chuck Palahniuk is trying to say is like, you can't be either or. There's this balance that you have to reach, which is the significance of destroying the centers of economic power, and resetting the whole thing to zero. That is a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Yeah, it's a metaphor.
I understand, but I don't think most of the people who watched that movie pulled that from it.
Because
we're talking about Fight Club next. We're talking about Fight Club next.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because they're dumb fucks. That's why they're not going to get it. Because they listen to Joe Rogan like 24/7, and they hang on his every word. Like, they're sucking the tip of his dick and waiting for the fucking cum to come out.
Actually, no, we're not talking about Fight Club next. We're talking about that bullshit on the next pod. And
I mean,
yes,
I thought we were going to talk about ninjas. I just wanted to throw in the turf thing real quick and kind of took over.
No, we're gonna have to talk about ninjas the next time. Chino's got people needing sleep.
Yeah, it's gonna get loud.
Are we doing this tomorrow or no?
Oh, I'm down for tomorrow.
I'm down for tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Same time.
Same bad time. Same bad channel.
All right, bitches. Fuck all y'all. I'm out.
All right. Until next time, homies. Peace.
And konnichiwa, bitches.
Cut.